I wrote it and I researched it and I practiced it like crazy. But, it's, yeah, then I watched everybody.
Hell no! Damn it, who is that guy?
8-foot tall Biden, Abe. That was my favorite Biden. The only person available to strap on a skin suit and pretend that they were Joe Biden at this event. Apparently, Larry Bird. Remember this over here where Joe Biden was 8 feet tall? Look at this. Look at this thing. They're like, no, that's just, it's like angles and stuff. Oh, it's angles, huh? Look at Jill over here. Look at Jill. They put her in stripper shoes. They're like, you need to go get the highest heels that have ever been made. You got to get drag queen high heels, put them on, and get on your tippy-top toes so it doesn't look like he's 8 feet tall. But he 8 feet tall in this. And by the way, when I went to go get this clip, I never really paid attention to the mainstream media press, just in general. But boy, they were working overtime to prove you conspiracy terrorists wrong. They would never put a dude in a mask. Right? No leader, no world leader, no rich star person would ever use another doppelganger in a skin mask to misdirect the masses. Right? All those Michael Jacksons, all those Saddam Husseins, all those different Obama, Joe Biden would never do that. This guy would never do that. His mask's falling apart over here, by the way. That's just his skin. That's just his skin, huh? All right, chop that one up to bad skin grafts. What is this thing called when they tighten your face up? Facelifts. All right, well, fine. Okay. Well, what about this one way down here? His eyes changed color, by the way. His eyes are black now. Did you get earlobe surgery? Hey, yeah. He was like, oh my God, I'm 80 years old, and I just realized now that my earlobes are detached. I'm a student of phrenology over here. Everybody knows a detached earlobe gives off bad vibes. So he attached it. No. These aren't the same people. They're not the same people. They're just not. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. There was this one video where he doesn't blink. He doesn't blink. They put too much glue on the mask, and the actor was like, "Oh, God, screw it, I can't blink." Okay, so he did a 3-minute long speech like this. But again, nobody would ever do that. Nobody would ever wear a mask. Nobody would ever wear a skin suit. That's stupid. You're stupid people. Okay, well, let's talk about this. This is Jim Carrey. And last night I said, odds are it's just Jim Carrey. Maybe it's a crap ton of Botox, plastic surgery, and just mushrooms, because the guy's a maniac. The guy's a depressed, self-loathing lunatic. And of all the people out there who are self-loathing, I'm going to allow him to do it, considering he got, let's say he got sued for overdosing his girlfriend. All right, let's put it that way. All right. I notice a lot of comedians out there. Patton Oswalt. I notice a lot of these comedians. They got dead wives or dead girlfriends around them. Weird. Allegedly, of course, in Minecraft. Yeah. They would never need a skin suit or anything like this. Anyway, so Jim Carrey was out the other day, and he was looking, let's say, totally different. Totally different. Like he had way too much estrogen. Like that dude was way puffy. Looked like a chick on her period if she was on Mars. That's not a good look, by the way. And if you're a dude out there, you don't want estrogen, you want testosterone. If you're all puffy like that, maybe you got a testosterone deficiency. You should check out today's sponsor, TWC's Mars. For decades, male testosterone levels have been quietly declining. According to the Cleveland Clinic, nearly 1 in 10 men over the age of 50 have clinically low testosterone. So guys, if you're in your mid-40s, it's already declining. But here's the problem. Low T is often defined as under 300 nanograms per deciliter, meaning that you can still be labeled normal but feel anything but normal. low libido, low energy, mood swings, gaining fat while losing muscle, brain fog, poor sleep, hair loss. We were all taught that this was just part of getting middle age, but it's actually your hormones saying, help a brother out. Injections and prescriptions, these all can be expensive and have harsh side effects. My go-to is Mars from the Wellness Company. Mars is a non-injectable, hormone-free formula designed to support your own body's testosterone production. No prescriptions, no synthetic hormones, no needles. It combines clinically backed ingredients like Tongkat Ali, Sheel Ajit, Tribulus, horny goatweed, boron, and zinc. This unique combo reduces supplement intake quantity and supports energy, stamina, confidence, and sexual health. Power your performance, restore your edge. Go to twc.health/salty. Use promo code SALTY to get 10% off plus free shipping for U.S. residents only. Jim Carrey probably should have been taking this supplement his entire life. The guy looks like he's never had any testosterone. But anyway, at this event, he looked even way worse. Way worse. Sounded odd. You know, if you're sitting there going, well, there's no way that it was a dude in a mask, because how is he going to mimic Jim Carrey's voice? Well, it didn't sound like Jim Carrey. He talked a little bit low and floaty, throwing a little bit of Francois in there. I was sitting there going, I was like, oh, he's just blitzed. The guy's just completely geeked out of his brain. I mean, that doesn't at all look like him. And I was just like, well, that's just a crap ton of plastic surgery. Well, now this guy out here, Alex Stone, has said, no, that's me. That's me in a mask. And, there's the mask and the hair that I was using and the prosthetics. And you're sitting there going, well, that could be, this whole thing here could be AI. Again, it could definitely be AI, but you're going to have to get the AI to make this looks like the fake Jim Carrey. It looks like the puffy estrogen-filled Jim Carrey mask over here. So you're going to have to spend a lot of time getting AI to do that. It could be done. It could be done. But he's got a video out there, and he says, that was me, right? Everyone who said Jim Carrey just got Botox owes conspiracy. They owe conspiracy theorists. You guys owe us conspiracy terrorists a bunch of apologies out there, because no, we were right. Again, I'm not sure I was the one. I'm not sure I was like the anti-conspiracy theorist. Oh, this one sitting there going, no, that's probably just him. That's probably just Jim. This guy's making a compelling argument that he was able to pull this off as a social experiment.
I wrote it and I
mean, that just sounds like a really bad Jim Carrey impersonation right there. Hey, I wrote it. Jim Carrey's not bubbly. I at least caught this yesterday. I was like, Jim Carrey's not bubbly at these events. He hates these events. He goes to these events like a moody bitch, and he craps all over them. And I was like, his behavior is completely different.
I wrote it and I researched it and I practiced it like crazy, but it's then I watched everybody like.
So the hands are a bit of a tell. The guy's got tattoos on his fingers, and Jim Carrey's got old man hands, and I just can't get a good enough the compression in the video. So the hands are probably going to be the best tell. The guy's not wearing prosthetic gloves, I don't imagine. But the guy's got a history of making these prosthetics, and so he goes out there as Miss Doubtfire, or I think that's Glenn Close. That one's not really that good. So you sit there and you go, well, that doesn't really look like Glenn Close. Yeah, that doesn't look like Jim Carrey. It's like Alex Stone is really good about making masks that look really creepy. They somewhat resemble the actor, but they look hella creepy. Okay. All right, well, hold on now. I'm thinking that's Alex Stone. So this image, it may or may not be real. These days, AI is really throwing wrenches into lots of works out there. But this is not a good impersonation of Jim Carrey. This is not at all how he acts or how he sounds. And then there's a bunch of videos of this event where he's signing his autograph on people's stuff, and he's doing it with his right hand, but Jim Carrey's left-handed. So, it looks like this dude pulled off one hell of a social experiment over here. He snuck into an award show as Jim Carrey in a prosthetic mask. I don't know. My concern about prosthetic masks, again, is not, I don't care about you Hollywood weirdo degenerates. My problem with if this was a dude pulling this off in this fashion, it proves these conspiracy. It gives way more credence to people going, well, that's clearly not an 8-foot-tall Joe Biden. Why are there so many vastly different looks of Joe Biden? And by the way, vastly different looks. Yeah, you go, well, the Joe Biden of 50 years old, yeah, he doesn't look like Joe Biden at 80. Yeah, but, my dad, everybody I know did. They looked older. But this dude looked different in his 80s, by the way. There's vastly different Joe Bidens in his 80s just in the 4 years, the last 5 years. Vastly different. Look at that. This one doesn't look like this one, and no one looks like this one. North Carolina. Oh, no. What is happening over here? What is happening? That's just old man skin. Let's stop pretending that silicone masks don't exist and that people can't drastically get close to looking like targets. And if they're going to do it for Jim Carrey, I think the people running the White House could do it for Joe Biden. But there you go, Jim Carrey. Alex Stone says that he pulled this off. And someone's going to have to explain to me why Jim Carrey started signing stuff with his right hand. That's a big oof. That's a big oof. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Check out today's sponsor, TWC Bars, and then make way because the salt must flow.